So no Brad Nessler, no Gary Danielson. Nah, just me and you. Just chilling. Hopefully you can hear me just fine, right? Gaudy, that's what I would call the statistics of a lot of these top tier college quarterbacks right now. 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions through 10 games. Come on now. 8 games. 8 games. They only played 8 games. And of course, if you're watching live, certainly appreciate it. Still in the pregame portion of the Alabama LSU game. I'm seeing the same broadcast you are. I'm on Comcast. I should be synced up live with them. Like swimming in this fucking. Here we go. I decided to stream live the game today because this game in particular represents the future of the NFL. From what I understand, there are at least 15 players with at least a second round draft grade in this game. The reason I am broadcasting to you is because I am a content creator for a website called Stampede Blue that what we focus on are the Indianapolis Colts. Our primary focus, however, is the draft. Because of the way the organization has been run, where a lot of the team is predicated on the draft, they don't put a lot into free agency. They try to build from within. It forces you to take college football a little seriously. If you're wondering, I'm not terribly attached to either program, although I'd certainly like to think I'd root for LSU over Alabama if I had to pick a side. That said, though, I like Nick Saban. It's about time he puts out a good first pick overall draft pick quarterback. And we're recording this as well, so we'll be able to upload it to YouTube later. Ed looks like the head coach of the LSU Tigers. Like if I had to place him, like if Waterboy was my reference to football in the South, that's what LSU's head coach would look like in that movie, in that in that in that frame. It's a big home game for Alabama. Alabama with the typical cupcake schedule, right? Looks like LSU kicking off to Alabama to start the game. And that's returnable. Got a nice little crease out to about the 29. So it looks like, barring any unforeseen penalties, first and 10 Alabama on the 29. It's fair that we just call him Tua, right? And we just agree that Tua is there's only one Tua. He wasn't set before the ball was snapped. Number 4 was offsides. Just saying. Nice little play action pass. Hit the crossing route. First and 10 at the 49. Off tackle right. Big play. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That was a big time run. This is going to be a track meet, the way it looks. Alabama or LSU is good on offense this year, right? They actually have a quarterback. Nice little stutter step. First and 10 at the 20 and a half. Wide receiver motion right. Back left. And they pitch it to him. Little shovel pass. For like 11 yards. What is this offense? I want to run this offense. It looked like LSU strung him out, but just a little dip of the hips. I hope LSU brings it. They're gonna have to, because this is gonna get ugly. Or is LSU like insane in the red zone or something? Is that what it is? And a tough, nice little ground them down run to the left for about 5 yards. That was their shortest play of the drive. Was like a 5-yard power run off the left edge. One running back, 3 wide receivers, well, 4 wide receivers technically, running a little, what looks like a little wing T formation. Is that called rocket, where the inside running back goes behind the quarterback in motion? So Alabama, of course, second and goal with 12:20 left in the first quarter. Little tipped pass. Number 90. That's a big guy. That dude's huge. Look how big that boy is. Way to get them hands up, big guy. Make a big time play. Mr. Lawrence. Looks like they're gonna call timeout, I guess. And there we go. We made it to our first commercial break. Okay. That didn't take long, did it? If you're watching, can you hear the music? So I'm wondering if can you hear the music? All right, here we go. 3rd and goal. Your music plays. Okay. So I guess it doesn't matter. Uh-oh, LSU gets a big turnover. I was playing music this whole time thinking it kind of mattered and I was vibing along. No. Great. Oh no. Oh no. How do you explain that? Big turnover. Wow. I have no idea. That was like an unexplainable turnover. LSU starts off with about a 9-yard run. Getting a good look at Joe Burrow. Another little inside run. Running back for about 6 yards and a flag. Probably a late hit out of bounds there. I'm guessing. So offsetting penalties and 2nd down. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So we're just going to call him Clyde. Somehow Joe Burrow got 7 yards on that play, and I'm still not sure. I'm not sure how. Steps up into the pocket, breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle. Somehow, okay. Being young and your body being basically rubber at this point. Just the young buck. 2nd and 3 here from the 26. Absolutely beautiful ball by Joe Burrow to Mr. Chase. Ah, a nice little rub too. So that was like a slot flag. The outside receiver ran an in and tried to chip the defender so that he could get that outside release. I like that play call. Burrow again on a deep dig. Guy was offsides too. First and 10 at the 48. Oh, wow. Touchdown. Missed the chase. Wow. LSU's dangerous. Both 8-0. Tigers strike first. The usual hand fighting. Yeah, that was just great. What a beautiful play. What a great looking stadium. Tigers and Joe Burrow just silencing the crowd, right? No. Tua. He just coughed that up. There's no... I'm not really sure. Would you say that Joe Burrow is the big man on campus? So let's see if we can name the... I was told that there are 15 players between each team's offense and defense that had at least a second round grade. So I'm guessing Tua and Burrow. And who else? Yeah, I wonder if Hot Mike will let me broadcast the Miami-Indianapolis game tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Huh? He's going to have to do that several times tonight. Alabama on offense is inevitable. That's not returnable. Kickoff out of the end zone. They're going to be showing that fumble for a while. That's the first fumble he's had this year, though. First and 10 at the 25. And a shoestring catch. Outstanding. It's not just Tua, right? That was sort of a bad ball. LSU gets called for a horse collar. So what turned a 15-yard play is now like a 25-yard play. Oh my gosh, what a great catch. Yeah. That is not how we tackle, they said. Alabama first and 10 at the LSU 45. Play action. Well played by Fulton there. Yeah. Kind of got away with a hand on the hip, but second and 10 at the 45. Little give inside for about 3, maybe 4 yards. Third and 6 from the 41. LSU gets a big stop. Cameras seem to make it look like Tua hurt his right leg. Oh no. Oh no. Alabama pretty much plays perfect football, and for them to come out and fumble and then have a snap go over the punter's head is certainly not the way we thought this was going to start, right? Yeah, just hit him hit him in the worst spot, right in the hands, right? Oh. And then Joe Burrow throws a pick on the next play. It's like a circus. But it looks like there's a flag on the play. Was it like 12 men on the field? Illegal substitution. Only Alabama could get, or LSU could get a call like that out of Alabama. Inside give on first down, 1st and 5 anyway. For about 2 yards, maybe 3. Alabama definitely offsides there. So if Joe Burrow could just not do that the rest of the game, that'd be great. Let's turn a light on here. Little end around for minimal gain on first down. Mr. Jefferson. Second and 10 from the, looks like the 27 going in. Is he not offsides? He may have gotten the sack, but it looked like he might have been just a touch early. Yeah, 33. I thought 33 was just a touch early. Third and 17 from the 34. And Joe Burrow gets back 13 of it. Took it right up the middle. This looks like that turnover might cost Alabama 3 points. Or not the turnover, the punt snap gaff, right? Cade York for 40 yards from the right hash, right down the middle. LSU 10-0 on Alabama. LSU to kick off. Alabama doing everything they can to give this game to LSU early. Tua with the unexplainable fumble, and then the punt gets snapped over the punter's head. And then some weird illegal substitution penalty I'll never figure out. So this is the most that Alabama has trailed by all year long, is 10-0 to their bitter rival, right? All right, Alabama 2nd and 5 here from their own 30-yard line. Inside handoff, no gain. Maybe loss of 1. Third and 6. That's back-to-back 3 and outs by LSU's defense. Looks like LSU is able to pressure Tua. Alabama gets a punt off, so that, hey, things are looking up, right? Did you see the blocker on the return team trying to act like he wasn't hitting him in the back? Put his hands up in the air. It's such a goofy way to run. Probably about 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter. LSU ahead 10-0. So let's look at Mel Kiper's big board. So they're saying ESPN says Tua is the number 2 overall prospect. Jerry Jeudy is the number 3 overall prospect. Joe Burrow, number 6 overall. Grant Delpit, the safety from LSU. Henry Ruggs III, who, by the way, is every bit the playmaker. Reminds me of Deshaun Jackson, just kick returns, punt returns, inside handoff for 2 or 3 yards on first down for LSU there. Alex Leatherwood. Terrell Lewis, the linebacker for Alabama. Christian Fulton, the cornerback from LSU. And then Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a top 10 running back prospect. Joe Burrow sacked. 33 is having a big game so far. Devonta Smith is the number 6 overall wide receiver. Jedrick Wills, the other Alabama tackle. Speaking of Clyde, Clyde got most of it back, but not all of it. LSU forced the punt. And then Raekwon Davis is a top defensive tackle prospect. Let's see. And Alabama returns the kickoff for a touchdown. I told you, once they figured out how to punt the football, that it was all going to turn around. I think the cameraman just showed a group of white people in different collegiate colors about to scrap in the stands. It was a beautiful return. About 80 yards. Dog got his helmet ripped off. And then returns it all the way. We're right back to commercial break. Looking around college football right now. LSU Alabama is what we're watching. LSU up 10-7. Kansas State Texas 14-7. Wake Forest Virginia Tech 3-3. Cincinnati over UConn 17-0. Looks like Wisconsin and Iowa are tied in a battle of ranked teams. Um, and earlier today, Ohio State beat Maryland 74-13. I heard a Maryland commit decommitted during that game. Uh, Minnesota beat Penn State 31-26. Florida has beat Vanderbilt 56-0. Baylor over TCU in triple overtime 29-23. And then SMU 59-51 over East Carolina. And here we're back. Alabama has kicked the ball off here to the 5, returned by you know who. Clyde. Clyde is the running back for LSU. His name's Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And because I don't know him personally, I'm not trying to insult him, but we're just going to call him by his first name, right? Joe Burrow to a tight end for about 6 yards. So Jalen Waddle just had the first punt return touchdown since 2007 for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Inside handoff. Spin move gets about 3 yards. I like this running. I like Clyde. I like this running back. Gets a first down. He's tough. Gets the tough yards too. And that'll be the end of the first quarter. Alright, we're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a few minutes, okay? All right. Took a little break there. The end of the first quarter. LSU up over Alabama 10-7. Alabama made a lot of mistakes there in the first quarter. And I realize now that I've started broadcasting, there's very little football actually played. Clyde with about a 12-yard catch and run off the right side. Brad Nessler and company hamming it up there. Joe Burrow is 7 for 7 for 100 yards and a touchdown. Had an interception called back on an illegal substitution penalty. Wow, nice drop step. Mr. Jefferson. Goes in motion, catches the jet sweep motion pass. Kind of a screenplay. Play action. Burrow keeps it up the middle. Bounces off his own man for about 7 yards. Inside handoff there to our good buddy Clyde. Joe Burrow has thrown another touchdown. Wow, really poor defense by Alabama. Don't be that guy, right? And a missed extra point. Alabama blocked it. Mr. McKinney with his peanut butter and chocolate hair. Ed Orgeron looks like the head coach of the LSU Tigers should look. Yo, and if you're watching this, I may be interviewing Eric Ebron. And if you're watching this and wondering, what is this man doing? My name is Jared Malott. I live in Indianapolis, Indiana. Uh, and I've always wanted to be a commentator, right? But I didn't go to journalism school. And I live in Indianapolis, where we're smaller mid-market teams as it is. And I have been a content creator for Stampede Blue, and will continue to support Stampede Blue. In fact, they're the reason I'm here. But I do a weekly podcast called Afternoon Pancakes. We typically record that on Tuesday, and it comes out typically around Tuesday about supper time. And you can find Afternoon Pancakes wherever you find podcasts. So that's Spotify, that's iTunes, that's Google Play. You can find me on the Stampede Blue Podcast Network. Additionally, my wife and I have started a business with the help of an investor that we call Bizarre Grind Coffee and Games. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Bizarre Grind. We are trying to start, or have started, a board and card PC and console gaming center that has really good concessions and leans heavily on selling world-class coffee all day, every day. And at this point, what my wife are trying to find is a place that is move-in ready, that we don't have to do a bunch of construction to, that we don't have to pay $1 million to rent, that we can just borrow the money to get the coffee making equipment and to put some games and stuff in there and see what we can make happen. We think we've got a great idea. If you want to support us in any way, if you go to the website, we have merchandise that you can buy. We have t-shirts, hoodies. Incomplete pass, by the way. So let's get back to the shilling, shall we? So what I'm going to do on my site, of course, is that if you want to advertise through me, you can, right? I have a friend, his name is Eli Vita. He'll be doing most of those conversations, and he'll come to me with the advertising things that are good for us. Looked like Tua, handoff to the left, went for no gain. 3rd and long here for Alabama. Alabama really needs a score. Really need to get this to a one-score game. 3rd and 13. In any case, if you want to support us beyond buying merchandise, or say you're not into that stuff, you don't want a t-shirt or a nice sweatshirt or a Artervis tumbler with our name on it, or stickers or coasters, we've got it all, really. We do have a Patreon set up, and we do offer tiered support ranging as low as $5 up to $50 up to $100. We'll send you some swag. We'll get you discounted coffee for a month if you buy a loot crate from us, basically. You can find that at patreon.com/bizarregrind, like you see there. Of course, if you like what you're watching, make sure you download the Hot Mic app to your iPhone. It's in the App Store. HOTMIC, right? Download that Hot Mic app and put my password in there, which is JARED317. That's my promo code. And then when you downloaded and installed the app, open the app up, and in the Broadcasters tab, scroll down till you find my name, Jared Malott, and follow me. Every time you download that app and use that code, and every time you follow me, that's $1. Then I get a couple bucks every 10 concurrent viewers I have. So if you will, share this. Share this. Have people download this app. When you're watching a live sporting event, I'll be broadcasting live. I know I'm nothing pretty to look at, but I'd like to think I'm a little more entertaining than your average broadcast. And they're going to get Tua with a late hit on Tua, I'm assuming. Looks like Alabama converted that long 3rd down. Now have it 2nd and 9. And that cornerback Fulton that we talked about, that's one of the best cornerbacks coming out of college football this year. He was on Mel Kiper's big board. Appears to be a little shaken up. So, anyway, where were we? So, what we found out that may be the most financially savvy way to get into a business space is to take a space that's free to use. We would just have to pay to fix it, right? So, what I'm in the process of doing is having my brother, who has a connection that does build outs for businesses, I'm going to meet him at a proposed location that we have to talk about the cost of fixing this place up. And if it's reasonable, I can add that to my business plan and see if I can have the bank help me out getting that place built out. But the reality is, I'm not willing to invest a whole bunch of money in a place I don't own, right? And that's kind of what this location is expecting me to do. So that's pretty much spelled out for you. We're just looking for a location, one that is move-in ready, that has a couple bathrooms would be great. We need 5,000, 6,000 square feet. We'd like reasonable rent. We'd like to be in the Broad Ripple, Lawrence, Fort Bend areas. Just because there's stuff to do on all the other sides of town. There's really not a lot to do out here on the east side of Indianapolis. I have a lot of people in my corner that are helping me out. We just need to find the right location for us that, doesn't involve me borrowing money to build out a location that I don't own. But if you're wondering, I'll be broadcasting any big live sporting event. I love sports of all sorts. I'm not really a fan of either Alabama or LSU. I'm a football fan. I want to see these kids be great. I want to see great football. I told you earlier in our broadcast that there are 15 players on the field at any given time that are going to be first or second round draft picks right here, right now. And I named off about 10 or 12 of them earlier from Mel Kiper's top 100. So Alabama's got the ball 3rd and 5. 11 minutes left in the second quarter. Down 16-7. Alabama goes to the empty backfield. Wide receiver motion to the left. 4 wide receivers on the left side. And Tua is going to keep it, make some plays with his feet. Get a first down. Really? I don't know if I like that spot. So you're going to say he slid, he gave himself up a yard short of the line to gain? I thought he gave up right on the line to gain, which was the 48. So I thought he gave himself up at the 48. I don't know about that call. Nope, they gave him the ball. Okay. Okay. So I don't know how I felt about this initial spot, and now that they made him play it out, I would just give it to him because I'd have given it to him the first time. Ooh, just short. So LSU gets the ball on a lot turnover on downs. So basically, the storyline for this game is going to be that Alabama did everything they could possibly do to give this game to LSU and beat LSU. That's going to be the storyline in this game. Tua had a crazy fumble. They had punt, a botched punt snap. Right now, they turn the ball over on downs, off a bad spot. By the way, the original fourth down spot was bad. Right. I don't think he ever touched the ground until well after the 51. So see where his legs go down. So his legs. He's well over the line again, I think. Imagine how those people feel. Imagine feeling like I don't know why was it fourth down to begin with? This is what I've been saying. The officiating is starting to ruin sports for me. Joe Burrow from his own 48 and a half. First and 10. Play action. Hits a tight end for about 6 yards. Inside handoff for about 3 yards. So we're back to about third and one. Yep. And stuffed, I think. So I think this is probably fourth down. Yeah, he was clearly stuffed. I love how both colleges trotted out all of their students with all of their teeth to be on TV today. Joe Burrow, slant to miss the chase, negated by an offensive penalty, the delay of game. So instead, because of the delay of game, LSU will now punt. Awesome. You know, now that I'm actually broadcasting a game live, I'm kind of surprised at how little football is actually played and how frequently we're on commercial. I mean, think about how much less you would enjoy a broadcast if it. Well, I guess if you're listening to me, you are listening to a broadcast without commercial, right? Just millions and millions of dollars being spent so that you cannot watch a football game. Somehow, a football game that takes an hour and a half to play takes 3 hours to go and watch. Mayhem's getting a little older, I think. I actually thought this game was at like 7 o'clock tonight. Wouldn't this make a great Saturday night football game? So Alabama has given up a lot of pressure. Tua has been under duress. Alabama backs himself up to their own 5 yard line, 1st and 15. AJ McCarron. The question was, what LSU and Alabama quarterbacks have the highest Heisman voting? Jamarcus Russell and AJ McCarron. Almost a sick catch. LSU keeps making contact with Tua after the throw. They're going to get a penalty eventually. 2nd and 15. And Judy with the snag. Tackled immediately by another first or second round draft pick. So it was about a 5 yard completion to Jerry Judy. Yeah, Alabama has started this game 1 for 5 on 3rd down. Nice. I like Jerry Judy for about 30 yards. Looked like a deep out. Nice cut. This is one of sports' greatest rivalries. So I love big rivalry games. So I'll broadcast any big live sporting event, particularly when there's a rivalry involved. Mostly just because I think it's one of the greatest forms of entertainment. Not in so much as how people treat each other, more just it's the best form of entertainment for me. The whole payback, grudges, coaches that won't shake hands, teammates that won't speak to each other in the NFL because of where they went to college. And the way I'll set up my streams is if I'm watching a football game, we'll go quarter by quarter. So we took a couple minute break at the end of the first quarter. We put up the "Be right back" sign. I went and had an apple with my wife, right, and then we'll take a break at halftime. I go get a drink. Try not to eat or drink on stream because I think that's gross. And speaking of which, let's take a look around the rest of college football while we're sitting here. So we're watching Alabama LSU. LSU is up 16-7. Kansas State over Texas 14-7 at halftime. Wake Forest over Virginia Tech 10-6 at halftime. Cincinnati over UConn 24-0 with about 5 minutes and 50 seconds and change left before halftime. Wisconsin losing to Iowa 3-0 with about 11 minutes left before halftime. And again, we said Ohio State beat Maryland 74-13. Minnesota beat Penn State 31-26. Florida beat Vanderbilt 56-0. Baylor beat TCU in triple overtime 29-23. And SMU over East Carolina 59-51. Tua for a touchdown pass on the next play. Just a deep go route. It's pretty much Tua's got the defense pointing fingers at each other already. Four plays, 90 yards, a minute and 20 seconds. Let's see which future first or second round wide receiver. That was Devonta Smith, right? With the big touchdown catch. He had 2 yards on that cornerback. I wonder what happened. They'll probably show us the replay. And yes, I had Arby's for lunch. Oh, it's funny. Look like a little cat and mouse game there. I don't know what happened there. It looked like offsides, didn't get called, and then he just kind of hesitated. Who's this receiver from LSU? Because it looks like Justin Jefferson was on the list. Who's Mr. Chase? Again, Mr. Chase. Who's that? Let's go find this wide receiver. Jamar Chase, sophomore from Harvey, Louisiana. Okay. How is that not defensive holding? A little flip out to Clyde. Third down and change. Look like they got a late flag. It looks like it's on the offense. About 5 minutes left here in the second quarter. LSU currently winning 16-13 and driving. I'll be honest, this is the first time I've seen Alabama tested this season. 10 points was the biggest, the most they'd been down in like over a decade. Is one of those receivers supposed to be off the line of scrimmage? Joe Burrow, 14 for 15, 209 yards and 2 touchdowns. Third and 9 inside the 20 is not an easy conversion. From the 19-yard line. Offsides, Alabama on the defense. Alabama gets a stop on defense. I thought 24 was offsides, though. I'm being notified, if you're a football fan, that George Kittle has been downgraded to doubtful, as has Robbie Gould, as LSU kicks a long field goal and is up 19-13 on Alabama. Yeah, George Kittle looks like he's out tomorrow. Where's that Monday night? If you're wondering who I root for, particularly I root for Purdue, which is my alma mater. That's where I went to school. I also root for USC, and I root for the Miami Hurricanes. So my Trojans, my Hurricanes, and my Boilers. Looks like USC is up 28-13 over Arizona State. About 4 minutes left till halftime. Looking around. Looks like Miami's up over Louisville 35-14 with about 4 minutes left before halftime. Florida State over Boston College 38-31. Rumors are, what I hear, Deion Sanders to be the head coach of Florida State as LSU kicks off after their field goal. That's returnable. Finds a little crease out to about the still going, about the 33. I like Ruggs. That's a gritty wide receiver, a willing contributor. Way to stay on your feet, right? So he got half right. Burt Jones, by the way. We asked earlier between Alabama and LSU who had the highest, who got the highest in Heisman voting, and I guessed Jamarcus Russell, which was wrong. It was Burt Jones for LSU and AJ McCarron. But he and Tua both have gotten second in Heisman voting. Second three from the 35. And throws a real pretty ball about 5 yards over his receiver's head out of bounds. Looks like a good wide receiver cornerback battle out there between Jerry Jeudy and Mr. Fulton. All right, here we go. 3rd and 3. Back in motion. No. Stopped. LSU gets a stop on defense. So this has been all things considered, this has been a great football game. There are a lot of really good football players on both teams. This is a very hotly contested game. That keep in mind, Alabama's meant to keep close, right? On the back of a kick return for a touchdown, but has turned the ball over. I think done everything but give up a defensive touchdown. LSU goes and heads and takes. I guess they went ahead and took the delay a game to move them back a little, drain a little more time off the clock. So I'm thinking of this as basically an NFL game. This is the only time there will be more NFL talent on the field is the Senior Bowl. Potentially the national championship game, but that just kind of depends on who makes it. You know, if you think about the number 4 team in college football could not be in a Power 5 conference. So we've been alive for about an hour and a half. So there's an example of a really bad play by Alabama, leaving a wide receiver wide open, right? Joe Burrow up the middle for about 10 yards and a first down on a quarterback designed run. Yeah. First and 10 from the 50. Burrow takes off again for about 19 yards. Now, is this because Alabama plays such incredible defense in the secondary that no one's open? Throws the ball over the head of Mr. Chase. Got about a minute and a half here left in the first half. LSU up 19-13 in the battle of the undefeateds. The best of the SEC, LSU Alabama, probably the biggest football game of the year. Joe Burrow to Justin Jefferson. What is the best reference to chocolate and peanut butter? Is it Reese Cup? '81 caught that. I'm gonna need to see a replay of that. Was his foot in? I need to see that play again. Thank you. Oh, I don't know. It doesn't matter. He pulled his feet back in though. Yo, he caught that. I don't know what the rules are. He was out, but he came back in and he established his feet in bounds before he made the catch. So yeah, his foot was out of bounds, but he jumps. His feet are in bounds, catches the ball. Maybe because he went out of bounds, it's not a catch. Look at his toes, though. We definitely caught that. He definitely caught that. Whether or not he was in bounds, I don't know, man. That's pretty close. Because I get it that he stepped out of bounds, but he didn't have the ball in his hand when he stepped out of bounds. And he moved his feet. They're in bounds. He toe drags. Yeah, hey, at NFL officiating. This game seems to be not officiated horrifically. What's going on with you? Every NFL game this year just has been horribly officiated. This game feels like it's been pretty well officiated. The refs are staying out of the way for the most part. Feet in bounds. Check. I don't know. I don't know. It's close. And they got Gene Steratore in a booth in New York instead of on the field somewhere, making the game better. They gave it to the tight end. Okay. Okay. He got both feet down. Yes, he stepped out of bounds, but he came back in, got both feet down, caught that ball. So all things considered, looks like Alabama's going to score with about a minute left. That was a big time play. The inside handoff is stuffed at the 2 yard line. Gonna be tough, man. It's hard to not score when you're first at the one, and did not get it on the quick pass to Mr. Jefferson. Mr. Burrow. I want to see him inside handoff fake the quick throw and then throw it to the inside. And Clyde up the middle for the touchdown. If LSU kicks the extra point here, they'll have doubled up the Crimson Tide at halftime. I'm certainly happy at this point to have adopted the LSU Tigers today. As again, I'm not really a fan of either team, if I had to call myself one. I just like good football. I still think, though, LSU has done everything they can to put as much space between them and Alabama as possible. But you just saw Alabama score in 4 plays. They went 90 yards in a minute and 20 seconds. Now, they got a little less time here. 26 seconds isn't a lot. But wouldn't it be cool if they scored to close the half? Just nothing but action. And you can hear us, I'm assuming. Yeah, we're hitting audible levels. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. LSU's 26 points with 26 seconds left in the second quarter is the most against Alabama since 2007. So this is about as good as it's gotten for LSU as it refers to Alabama. But if you're LSU, how about Ed Orgeron? How about Joe Burrow, right? What a great story for you. I want that Leatherwood kid on my team. Starting tackle for University of Alabama. First round draft pick, two-time all academic SEC. Tua throws an interception. It's like you just didn't see him there. Queen makes a nice interception. And a guy got injured, and they're going to show that on replay for the next 5 minutes, kids. So get ready to watch how this person got injured in slow motion. Oh, and it's Lawrence, too. So Landon Dickerson with some 69 came in and hit someone from behind. Classy play, bro. Classy play. I can't stop laughing. What's going to happen? LSU scores again, right? So they're up like 33-13 at halftime and lose. Because it's Alabama. Oh, God. Watch. Alabama gives up 33 points in the first half and doesn't give up a first down in the second half. Touchdown LSU. My buddy Clyde from Joe Burrow. And LSU is putting it all over Alabama right now. Yeah. Yeah. That's what they say until halftime, right? If you're a fan of either one of these teams, you know what I'm saying is true. Joe Burrow at halftime, 18 for 20, 302 yards, 3 touchdowns. Oh, yeah. Thinking about becoming a housewife, huh? That's. Maybe I should just date the engineer. What is under review? What was wrong with the hit? There was nothing wrong with that hit at all. There was no penalty, right? Tua is not having his best day today. And LSU up 33-13. So Bama spotted him 20 at halftime. Nice ball, Joe Burrow. Hit the corner to the running back out of the backfield. Again, I liked Clyde. I like the LSU skill players. Joe Burrow, their tight end. He's like really good. Who's their tight end? 6 seconds till halftime. You can hear my dogs in the background. I've got two pit bulls. You can find them on social media too. Tolly and Shepherd. They're probably ready to go outside. Is it McClendon, the tight end? Yes. TK McClendon is the LSU tight end that made that really nice catch. And looks like Tua and the Alabama offense will just kneel out. And we go to halftime. Again, LSU up 33-13 on the road. And still going to lose. I'm just calling that now. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back. All right, and here we are back. It's halftime of LSU Alabama 2019. Alabama spotted LSU 20 points, and I'm still not sure who's going to win this game. Uh, Alabama has shown that they can get stops on defense and that they can score quickly on offense. While we're at halftime, it's always a good time to let you know if you want to follow me personally on Instagram or Twitter. You can find me at Likely Alien that you see on your screen. And also to use this platform to cross promote my business, Bizarre Grind Coffee and Games, that my wife and I have started. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at Bizarre Grind. We are in the process of trying to finalize a location that we can move into without having to put a bunch of money into the property. We have a website, bizarregrind.com, where you can go. You can order merchandise if you want to support our business. We've also got a Patreon set up, so if you go to patreon.com/bizarregrind, you can see the different tiers of support that we offer. And that's about as much as we're going to ever ask out of you. We're always going to try to offer you something in return. So you'll never see us just straight up ask you for money. But we're going to try to make as much money as we can before we get in business. We've got merchandise. We have purchased a Magic collection that we're in the process of sorting that will get put up for sale on our website. We certainly want to get started making money, even though we're not in brick and mortar yet. Make sure we have a strong e-commerce base to our business. And to tell you about our business, what Bizarre Grind is trying to do, or what we're going to do, is we're going to take an outdated model, a board and card game shop that's just not profitable enough to be a standalone business. We've done our research and we've added world-class coffee from Caravan Coffee in Newberg, Oregon. We went out there. They taught us everything that we need to know about the game. And then they also have made us our own private label roasts of coffee. And then while we were out there, we did some market research, found out what other beverages we're going to serve. So we're going to serve Italian sodas and Red Bulls and flavored Red Bulls. And then we're going to take a theme of green capitalism, right? So what we're going to do with our business up front is do what businesses are doing retroactively now. For example, the packaging that we get our coffee in is 100% biodegradable, and the coffee we get is ethically sourced. So we're going to take that line from Caravan and we're going to try to repeat that with our business. So for example, we're going to do boxed water instead of bottled water. And then to support our drinks that we're going to be serving for concessions, what we've done is we've gone to some local businesses from the Midwest, specifically where we were trying to stay. And we said, hey, we're going to have a business. We're going to serve snacks. We want to see what you got. And for example, we found Goods Candy Shop in Anderson, Indiana. Okay, and they took our idea. They showed us some product they thought that would work well with our coffee. And we had... Also, we've gotten our merchandise from a local graphics company, PRN Graphics. Shout out to Kristen, who's been a great help to me so far. And we've gotten all our merchandise through them. We have t-shirts, we have hooded sweatshirts, we have coasters, we have stickers, and we have Tervis tumblers with our name on it. And if you want to buy any of that stuff, you can always buy it on our website. And then, so what we were going to do is we're going to have a board and card game shop, and then we're going to add great concessions to it. And then I got approached by a friend of mine. His name is Sean Smith, who owns Harina Data and GYO Entertainment, and asked me about adding the PC and console aspect to my business. So that increased our requirements for size. And they're going to help us get into that model of business to add it as another line of revenue to try to make a scalable version of a board and card game shop. So what we're thinking about is like an esports cafe that has your traditional board and card games, that has your PC and console gaming, but then also has kind of a hangout. Uh, that way, we're able to make money while we're open, with the concessions being the primary get for us. We're also going to serve Dots pretzels. We're also going to serve cow chips jerky. We're going to get a nacho cheese machine so we can do pretzels and cheese and nachos and cheese. And then Totino's Pizza has bitten on the esports bug. They've gotten on it too. So we're also going to use a toaster oven and serve some Totino's Pizza rolls to kind of round out our concessions. Just another thing to keep you there, right? Keep you there, keep you spending money, keeping your eyeballs on the stuff that we've got for sale. And then on top of it all, so instead of just running a traditional board and card game shop and a PC and console gaming center and an esports cafe, we're also going to be heavily focused on having community building style meetings in the effect of we're going to celebrate Monday Night Football. We're going to host live viewing parties for big sporting events and big esports events too. And not a lot of people know this, but esports is the future, and a lot of eyeballs are on video games right now. So in addition to watching me commentate professional sporting events, collegiate sporting events, I'll do the World Cup. I'll do soccer. I don't care. I love sports. I love games. I also want to get into esports commentary because if what we're doing now is trying to co-broadcast a live sporting event, so right now LSU is about to receive the kickoff in the second half of this LSU Alabama football game. If we're already co-broadcasting sporting events, the future is co-broadcasting esports events. I personally love Magic the Gathering. I think it's one of the greatest games of all time. And I love the commentary so much that I wouldn't really want to co-broadcast a Magic event. I would just rather watch a broadcast. I was watching the Mythic Championship this weekend. But I could be talked into co-broadcasting a Magic event if it came to it. I'd really like to co-broadcast esports events. I try to keep up with and play pretty regularly the Call of Duties. I play Fortnite. I play Apex. Like I said, I play Magic the Gathering. I'm open to new games. I got a buddy of mine, Eli, that loves the team fight tactics, the auto chess variant style of gaming. So I can really be talked into just about anything for a short period of time anyway. And then you'll see me, I also stream live on twitch.tv /likelyalien like you see there. I typically play, like I said, Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex are the big three titles that I play. But I've also started a playthrough of The Last of Us Remastered. I've played 2 over a 1 hour long sessions that I recorded and broadcast and need to upload to YouTube, frankly. And like I said, you'll just see a lot of my face as it is now, because this is now a job for me, streaming here on Hot Mic. I'm basically was contacted initially about just commentating and broadcasting Colts games, but up front I told them I want to jump in with both feet. Man, I love sports in general, and would love to be commentating these games. Don't really care about what it is, but I like of course to commentate the big games, the LSU Alabamas of the college footballs. You know, for example, there'll be big NBA games, big college basketball games. I actually had my initial conversation with the fine folks at Hot Mic for the first time the night of the State Farm Classic, where the number 1, 2, 3, and 4 college basketball teams all played in the same night. I would have loved to have broadcast and commentated that game. So we're at halftime of the LSU Alabama game, and I want to reiterate, this is the first game that I'll have broadcast actually live. I have broadcast on Twitch live 2 Colts games so far this year. And we were so far behind the broadcast that a lot of people said that we weren't watchable on that front. And then we'll be a little behind a broadcast today, but we're about as close as we can get to live. Watching LSU Alabama here as they get ready to kick off to start the second half of what I am considering the college football game of the year. Again, outside of one of the college football championships, one of those Final Four games, this LSU Alabama matchup features what I believe are 15 first or second round graded players in this upcoming draft, including both quarterbacks being in the top 5. Additionally, there are both offensive tackles for Alabama. The LSU running back and LSU wide receivers and Alabama wide receivers are all highly sought after draft picks. That was Moss with the big toe tap and catch. That was a great catch. Great catch. That was a great promo for Nike cleats, by the way. Was how good do those cleats look? So 1st and 10 at their 25. LSU gets the ball to start the half. Joe Burrow keeps it, goes up for about 3 yards, just right up the middle. The designed run. So it's one of the unique aspects of college football when it comes to NFL football players is the willingness and ability to tuck the ball and run. Obviously, we've seen Joe Burrow make quite a bit of work with his feet and also with his arm. He's dangerous all the way around. And Clyde gets him a first down on 2nd and 7 on the handoff from Burrow. And Clyde gets loose again. I like the running back for LSU. I would definitely want him on my team. Because you got to think that this is the toughest opponent either of these teams will play all year long. So when you're seeing guys do really well when they're playing against the best in the world, these are the guys that are going to play in the NFL. I think he waited a little too long. I mean, he still got good yards, right? He still got about 4 or 5 yards. Joe Burrow has completed his first 13 passes today. And while Tua has a fumble and an interception. LSU had 33 points in the first half. In their previous 4 games against Alabama, they scored 26 combined. Clyde again is just tough. It's just tough. Alabama's running back is incredible. Absolutely. You know what I like to see? I like to see a running back finish a run standing up. His feet were still moving when they went out of bounds, yards down the field. Burrow drops back to pass on 1st and 10, forced out of the pocket. Wisely lets the ball go out of bounds, and he threw it. He threw it to Clyde, who wasn't on the field. Now 2nd and 10. from the Alabama 36. About 12 and a half minutes left. Oh, and oh wow. And Joe Burrow was picked. Ball was tipped into the defender's hands. That's a big turnover for Alabama. Big turnover for Alabama. So they rush an extra guy. So McKinney tips the ball, tips the pass, and Lewis just catches the ball. What a great turnover. So Alabama had to have that one. I'm definitely for big defensive plays. This has been an exciting game. I mean, it's hard not to really get excited about college football when you watch great college football games like Alabama LSU. I mean, these guys have basically played perfect all year long until they run into each other, and then they become vulnerable. Right? You're playing against high level talent that is also well coached. Because you got to figure if you make it. I've been trying to tell people this forever. If you make it to Division One, all that means is you're a good enough athlete. To play winning football, though, you got to be really smart. You got to be really tough. And look at who's 22. This Alabama running back for a tough 9+ yards. Again, a lot. One of the things I've noticed about highly successful players, specifically these tough running backs, is even when the play looks like it's gotten stretched too far outside, they still find a way to cut up field and get some yards and get some tough yards. And I say that, and he gets stuffed on the next play. Chasson and Lawrence just tearing him up in the middle. So number 90 for Lawrence, I'm going to look him up. This is a guy I could see the Colts drafting. So let's talk about that. This is supposed to be a very good draft class. So I'm going to look up defensive tackle, I think. Running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, offensive tackles, guards, centers, defensive ends. Okay, so there isn't an LSU defensive tackle on the initial. Okay. Okay. Terrell Lewis, by the way, is the one that got the interception off the tipped pass. And Anthony Jennings is the one that tipped the pass. There are so many commercials, so much money being spent. Love Joe Burrow, by the way. All the potential in the world. What was I going to look up? I want to look up LSU's roster. There are 5 quarterbacks. Holy. Um, D line. Rashard Lawrence, 6'2", 308, senior, Monroe, Louisiana. I like this kid. So it looks like he's missed some time. I'd be interested to see him develop. Rashard Lawrence, a defensive tackle, number 90 from LSU. Burrow to Clyde. Nice little pass. Right down the middle. Clyde getting those tough yards. Winding and spinning, and it's a tough running back. I like that kid. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. 5 receptions for 45 yards. Been leaned on heavily in the run game. Burrow again to Clyde for about 15 yards. Now, I'll never understand why defenders tackle guys and give them yards too. I'll never figure that out. See how he played that? He tried to keep him in bounds and throw him upfield. It's like they're trying to help him. Trying to help their yards per carry. So even when they beat him, they look like they had a big game. Burrow gives it to Clyde up the middle again for a couple yards. Talking about Joe Burrow was Ohio Mr. Football and All-State Basketball in 2015. Then he went to Ohio State. Was behind J.T. Barrett and Dwayne Haskins. Transferred to LSU in May 2018. Sat out a year. Got to be looked at as a top 5 overall prospect, if not obviously a top 5 quarterback and not a top 5 draft pick. I have more faith in Joe Burrow than I do Sam Darnold. So I will say that. Or like a Baker Mayfield, like. But also like Jalen Hurts a lot out of this class. Again, I've liked Joe Burrow. Tua's fine, but I mean, look how Tua's played against, elite competition, right? A fumble, an interception, 13 points in the first half. And that guy's supposed to be the number 1 overall pick, too. That's the crazy thing about that. And I've been saying all year, I feel like Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow, they don't lose games because they don't give up possession, right? Like, they score. They're willing to put their body on the line to get yards. They have design runs for the quarterback are indicative of a unique quarterback situation. I mean, think about Lamar Jackson and the unique defensive challenge he presents, right? The unique offensive challenge. Difficult to defend, right? Because in order to put a spy on a quarterback, a guy gets to be open every play. Nice SOCOM. Absolutely friggin' beautiful. Bryant Denny in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So as always, we want to make sure we reach out to as many people as we can when we broadcast. We want to say hashtag NCAA football 2020. We definitely want to get that back. Hashtag small business, hashtag esports, gaming, podcasting, networking. I mean, all of those things are why I'm here right now. When people say in the future, how did this all start? I've been doing post game rap videos for a Colts website called Stampede Blue, part of the SB Nation, under a company called Vox, right? So Vox Media, the media conglomerate that owns everything. I've been a Vox employee for almost 3 years as a post game rap, primarily content creator. So I just make like a 5 to 7 minute video after every Colts game explaining how and why they won or lost. And then each year I've kind of added something that I'm willing to do on top of that. So this year, my friend Stephen Reed and I, you can find him on Twitter at NiceReadSteve. We have a podcast called Afternoon Pancakes. You can find that Twitter account at Pod Pancake. We do about a 1 hour, maybe a little longer weekly podcast that you can find anywhere you can find podcasts. So that's of course like Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, anywhere you can find podcasts. You can find Afternoon Pancakes, part of the Stampede Blue Podcast Network. Tuesday will be our 20th episode of that podcast. And we're now averaging about 3,000 downloads per episode, which is really good for us. So, we, of course, Stephen Reed and I like to think we have a unique take. Not so much reactionaries, not trying to thrive on having crazy, wild opinions. Just trying to be as fair about what we see as possible. As we see LSU short of a first down, play is currently under review. Clyde again from Burrow. So another thing to consider is the chemistry between Clyde and Burrow. They certainly rely on each other for quite a bit. I mean, Burrow's getting a lot of touches just a few yards away from Burrow as he just dumps it to him. I don't know that he was down. He's still not down, still not on the ground. I think he got a first down. I don't think he touched the ground. Fourth down. See, I don't even like that call. But again, that's one of the things you'll see me harp on is a defender tackling a guy and giving him yardage too. Like, you get to choose, right? If you're going to stand him up, push him backwards. Don't let him fall on top of you. I learned that in wrestling. You don't want to drag a guy on top of you. You want to drag him by you, right? Or you want to push him off his. They call timeout. Oh no, they intentionally got a delay of game to let their punter get off a normal punt. So LSU to punt up 20. About 8.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Friends, if you're watching this in the future, today was the first game I ever live broadcast. All the way through live on the Hot Mic app. And then I'm going to download the video of that and then upload it to YouTube. So we're going to try to make sure we talk about our social media accounts that you can follow us on. Um, I don't need a special Hot Mike's Twitter account, so if you want to interact with me during a game, you can of course do that at Likely Alien on Twitter, and I'll try to make sure I put the feelers out. Like I'm gonna start broadcasting more events. I definitely am enjoying myself. This is definitely something I love to do. I upgraded my cable package, man. This is we gotta. That's another $50 a month. We gotta make some money back. So what we'd like you to do, of course, if you're watching this in the future and you're an iPhone user, if you would take out your iPhone, download the Hot Mic app, HOTMIC. Got that little flame above a microphone, just like you see that logo right there. Okay, download that, and it's gonna ask you for a code. Put in Jared, JARED 317. Okay, and then when you've downloaded the app and you open it, inside that app you'll see a tab at the top that says Broadcasters. And if you click on that tab, it'll show you a list of people. And if you scroll all the way down through there, I'm the only one with a lengthy description. And if you follow me, I get a couple bucks every time you do that. Every time you put in that code and follow me as a contributor. And I'm now a paid broadcaster for Hot Mic. I think Hot Mic's the future of you watching a broadcast or listening to a broadcast of a live sporting event. Let's say you're out at a bar. You want to put your headphones in, but you don't want to listen to music. And there's a sporting event on the TV in front of you, but the TV is muted. You pull out your Hot Mic app and see if somebody's broadcasting live during that game. There are several contributors on Hot Mic. But here's what I'll tell you. If you're watching a big game, I can bet you I probably am watching that game too. And I might be broadcasting that game live. So you could just hang out with me. You can interact with me directly on Twitter, right? So there's no hang out in my chat room. You don't have to worry about that. You can just turn on the Hot Mic app. It will run in the background. You can listen to the broadcast. And like I said, if you'd follow me, if you'd use the codes I give you, make me a couple bucks in the process, that'd be great. It costs you nothing but a couple minutes of your life. And Alabama on an ISO up the middle gets about 30 yards. So, like I said, I jokingly told you this whole time, LSU is going to get up by 20 points and lose this football game. And I'm going to go with Alabama running an ISO on first down for 20 plus yards as a good indicator that the floodgates could open at any time. To literally flip that to get the ball out of his hands before he got sacked and then got hit. Looks like we got a lower leg injury. Lower leg injury that we're going to watch for the next half hour. My least favorite part of sports is the pursuant videos showing the horrible injury that somebody suffers. So we're going to not look at the TV screen, right? And while we're waiting, let's look around the rest of college football. Let's look at the top 25, kind of get caught up on scores. Wow, that's a face mask. Wow, that's a face mask, number 70. Mr. Leatherwood. Alright, so first thing I see when I open up my ESPN app is USC is winning 31-20 over Arizona State. And then as we look around the college football top 25, of course we're watching right now LSU Alabama. LSU up 33-13 in the middle of the third quarter, about 7 minutes and 47 seconds left. Texas is up over Kansas State 24-21. Virginia Tech over Wake Forest 29-17. That's a little bit of an upset there. Although hardly so if you are a college football fan. Virginia Tech's usually pretty tough. Looks like a nice little screen for about 24 yards. So after they give up a huge pressure and have to throw the ball away, then they throw a screen on the next play for 23, 24 yards. All right, so what do we say? Cincinnati up 41-0 over UConn. Wisconsin over Iowa right now, 14-6. About 6 minutes left in the third. And then again earlier today, Ohio State beat Maryland 73-14. Minnesota beat Penn State in a bit of an upset, 31-26. Florida over Vanderbilt, 56-0. Baylor over TCU, 29-23 in triple overtime. And then SMU over East Carolina, 59-51. As we get back to action here, first and 10 on the LSU 49-yard line for Alabama. They need to score and score quickly, and then get a couple stops. Could be right back in this game in no time. Tua over the middle to Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith? Devonta. Is that Devonta or Devonte? We will find out. Looks like Mac Jones is warming up. Tua must be injured. So I wonder what this is. Tua's got an injured ankle, maybe, along the lines of Pat Mahomes. Deep ball down the middle, almost a touchdown to Jerry Jeudy, just well enough defended. Should have just caught it. You know what I mean? If he doesn't drop that, it's a hell of a catch. That's what I say. And we got another injury on the field. So the tough thing about broadcasting is that there is an awful lot of not football, right? There's so many commercials. It's absurd. So that said, we are looking for advertising partners. If you're watching us live, if you're catching this on the replay, we'd love to run an ad for you if it's got some benefit to us. Of course, we don't do nothing for free, right? But at this point, we're just thankful to be here. We want to make sure we do thank Hot Mike for giving me this opportunity and saying, hey, anything you want to stream, go ahead. So certainly I'm enjoying myself tonight. I want to make sure if you want to interact with me on social media, you can find me on Twitter and on LinkedIn, or Twitter and Instagram at Likely Alien. My wife and I have started a business, and we are finalizing a location for brick and mortar called Bazaar Grind Coffee and Games, which we aspire to be a brick and mortar board and card, PC and console, kind of a gaming mecca that also happens to serve world-class coffee, related beverages, and unique snacks that are also local, with the theme of being green, right, as often as possible. Shortening your supply line is the greenest decision you can make, right? So we'll be located right now we're looking at a location between Glendale and Broad Ripple on 62nd Street here in Indianapolis. What I would consider like midtown Indianapolis, right? And then we'd also looked at locations in the Fort Bend area, just east of Indy, and Lawrence, which is again just east of Indianapolis, Indiana. Um, we're gonna have a bunch of computers, a bunch of consoles in there. You can all rent those. Gonna have fiber internet. Gonna have really nice computers, really nice TVs. We're gonna keep our consoles in good condition. We're gonna have a board and card game shop. We're gonna primarily play Magic the Gathering and Pokemon. As Tua completes a big pass on 3rd and 10 to the little guy. That was a little receiver making a big play over the middle. Looked like he fell down on the route too. So 1st and 10 for Alabama on the LSU 28-yard line. And Tua just barely overthrows a open wide receiver. Although he was double covered, he was open. So 6 minutes left in the third quarter here. But anyway, so to continue talking about Bizarre Grind, what we're trying to do is find a way to support esports as a brick and mortar business, given that it doesn't really have a brick and mortar application as of yet. You got to realize to this point, most of the professional gamers that you've ever heard of or will hear of in the near future were basically made at home. And in the future, kids will just say, I'll just wait until I go to college because my parents won't support me in doing that. So keep in mind, mom and dad, you can keep your kids from trying to play video games competitively, but it's going to happen anyway. Because now kids are getting full ride scholarships to UCLA to play League of Legends. So now that said, there is a difference between a passion and a talent. LSU gets Alabama gets a first down on 3rd and 3. Nice little run by Harris there. But yeah, so like what we want to do is we want to be a place you go to play games at the highest level, competitively, right? So that we can show a leaderboard. So when a college comes around and said, "Hey, are you keeping statistics on the games that you play and how these kids place and whatnot?" You can actually go to our leaderboards and say, "Well, we have a weekly Fortnite tournament that we qualify on Monday through Wednesday. That the kids come in Friday and Saturday night to play in a scholarship awarding top 16 tournament, right?" And then make sure you're taking pictures of the kids, and so that the college recruiters can see who this person is, and say, "Well, here, we'll leave them a little information. They come back, give this to them, and let them know we were checking them out." But that's how kids are going to get scouted. I played sports when I was a kid. I played basketball, I played football, I wrestled. My brother and my dad golfed. I've even owned a golf company as Alabama scores a touchdown. Uh, Tua on one foot. Like I said, don't call me crazy when Alabama comes back and wins this football game. Just Harris, man, did all the work. So it's good for him to get paid after he got him all the way down there, right? But yeah, so back to what I was saying. In terms of sports as it refers to gaming, right? In the future, just like happened in the past, when I was a kid, college coaches would show up at your high school practices. college coaches showed up at the camps that we got sent to for the summer, and they introduced themselves to you, and they took a picture of you, and they said, we'll be in touch. You're about 6 foot, you're about 195, 200 pounds, and you're a freshman in high school. Hey, take a picture in a football uniform with me. All right. Hey, I thought you did well today. We'll be in contact. Then you get a letter, right? Now, of course, I chose to go to Purdue and knew that I was going to Purdue when I was 15, but I also applied and was accepted very early. I think I just participated in some events that were good. Um, like I went to Purdue a few times in high school for like a full day and went through a full slate of classes as part of like an in school program. I went to my wrestling coach my junior and senior year. I had an assistant coach that I wrestled with. He was like my wrestling partner. He was a Purdue alum, and he took me to a bunch of Purdue games. Really nice man. Um, so yeah, in the future, just like kids get recruited to play sports, they'll get recruited to play esports, and that's primarily being done right now. So if you're thinking about right now you just need to be in Champions League in Fortnite, and you need to be playing hardcore on Call of Duty. You need to be getting into the arena on Apex. You need to be playing ranked and ladder in Magic Arena and League of Legends, all the big titles. I get that, um, but I think that there's room for a board and card game shop that has PC and console gaming that is focusing on esports as like a community, right? So the idea is, a lot of the people that I'm the closest with, I have the least in common with. And my idea is just like with athletes from different sports hanging out, if you're a competitive gamer and there is a place that you can go, a brick and mortar business who's kind of tempered on competitive gaming that isn't serving food and alcohol, so they're not getting big chunks of money off you to have you hang out there. And we're gonna have live viewing parties. Uh, a lot of the locations that we've looked at are really close to food. So if our concessions aren't enough, we'll be able to get their food brought to us really easily. And that's my favorite part about building a business has been the relationships that you build with other business owners, right? Other people just trying to do business. As Joe Burrow completes about a 20-yard uh, post route, uh, Alabama has scored. So it's 33-20, and just like I said, you watch. Alabama gets a big turnover here on defense and goes down and scores and turns this into a one-score game before the end of the third quarter. You act like I didn't tell you, right? Ooh, ooh. See? Almost a pick on the next play. Burrow on the play action to the running back in the flat for about 7, 8 yards. Or 5 yards. They're going to give him 5 yards on that. Burrow's just a little high. So here we go. Another opportunity for LSU to get the ball back. Not a late hit. What? That's not a late hit? Barmore. That dude is huge. Who is this Barmore kid? All right, we gonna have to look that up. Who's Barmore? He's massive. Oh no. Okay. Hyper big board. All right. Let's see if Barmore is listed. He's a big boy too. Okay. Alabama gets the ball, 1st and 10 on the 22. 3 minutes left in third. And you, like I said, you watch how Alabama win this football game, bro. Anyway, so I'm gonna find out who this person is. LSU roster. Big old defensive tackle. Who is this guy? No, it's not LSU. It's Alabama, Jared. Okay, let's go back. Alabama. That person's name is Christian Barmore. 6'5", 310 yards, and just huge. Freshman from Philly. It's a name to keep in your mind. Remember, I told you that now. He's got a big frame. Jerry Jeudy gets a holding call on Fulton. That's been a nice little battle thus far. Keep in mind, if Jeudy doesn't drop that pass, he's got 5 catches for 100 yards and touchdown already. So 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line, at their own 46. And Devonta Smith catches a beautiful back shoulder fade. I like a stop and go and just do what a great route. Catch and about 9 yards. What's that kid's name? Harris? Najee Harris. 6'2", 230, a junior from Antioch, California. So a big 3rd down as the 3rd quarter winds down. 3rd and 2 from the 19 and a half going in. The give is to Najee Harris. Big moving pile. Hopefully nobody hurt as people just jump on a moving pile of bodies. All right, so here we are, end of the third, going into the fourth quarter. I love that Peyton Manning feels comfortable in his own skin enough to do really cheesy commercials. But I wish he'd just get back into football, man, because, like, you're way better at that. All the love in the world to Peyton Manning. Where I'm from, this is called dicking around. Stop dicking around. Get another Lombardi. Do it however Peyton Manning does that. Whether it's coach, get into part ownership of a team, do something. Lord help the Broncos, right? Like, they need all the help in the world. You want to come back and be around the Colts? Do it. You want to be on TV and talk football? I mean, he's kind of already doing that. He does kind of his own little video project, which is fine, but that's not a job. He's doing like one of those quarterback reviews like a week. That actually looked good. I would eat that. Ruby Tuesday is not messing around on a spicy chicken sandwich and tater tots. That's $8 though. I just realized that's an expensive chicken sandwich. So the beauty of broadcasting live on Hot Mic is that I'm in control of when we go to like commercial break, which we don't have any. I'm in control of how I market and advertise. So all I really have to market and advertise are, hey, if you like watching this video, if you see this on YouTube and you've got an iPhone, download the Hot Mic app. There's a code that it asks you for when you do that, and that code is Jared317. And then if you look in the Broadcasters tab after you've downloaded that app and find me, Jared Malott, and follow me, I get paid a couple bucks when you do that little setup. You'll get notifications when I go live. I'm going to go live just about any live sporting event that Hot Mic that their app will let me sync live to the broadcast of a sporting event. And I'll commentate with you. Right now, the way Hot Mic works is they're playing music on their end and I'm voicing over the music they're playing. In the future, I'll be able to control the music that is played. I tend to want to play like lo-fi hip-hop because when I go to record that and put it on YouTube, it doesn't get muted for copyright concerns because it's a live YouTube channel. So something to keep in mind in the future. If today's broadcast, if you didn't like the music, nothing we can do about that yet. I can't even hear it. I couldn't tell you what it is. I'm actually listening to nothing. All I can hear in my office right now are the fans running. 4th and 1 for Alabama. Going for it. Give it to Harris up the middle. He's probably scoring a touchdown. Gets stopped at the 1. Inside the 1 yard line. I thought he was going to score. And I think Tua is walking with a limp. So I don't think he's 100%. So Alabama first and goal to start the fourth. They score here. It's 33-27. They've come all the way back from 20 down to get within one possession. They get one stop, one score. They could be up one with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Who could have seen this coming? Anyone who has ever watched a collegiate football game involving the Alabama Crimson Tide, it almost doesn't matter. Like, that first half was about as abysmal a half as you'll ever see out of Alabama in a game they probably win. Like, this game may come down to if Tua hadn't fumbled the ball, they win because they fumbled in the red zone. But Najee Harris is making his money today, buddy. Probably going to score a touchdown here. No, Tua keeps it, rolls out, throws the ball away, was thrown at a tight end who is well covered. That's what I like to see. I like to see good defensive play at the collegiate level. Way to stay with your man, stay between your man and the ball. It's basically like basketball at that point, right? Najee Harris touchdown off the right side. All right, so just like we said, back to a one-score game. Who totally saw that coming? I guess, yeah, I was going to say, yeah. So it should be 27-33 with the extra point. Who'd have thought? But yeah, so what I was saying is that because I'm in charge of the marketing and advertising, when I do share the replay of this video, I'm going to tag um, Boxed Water. I'm going to tag Goods Candy Shop in Anderson. I'm going to tag PRN Graphics. We're also going to tag Cow Chips Jerky, Dots Pretzels. We'll even do the gummy candy from Albany's. There's another candy shop near one of the locations we were looking at, so we'll even look to them to possibly do business. So, like I said, we want to be as local as we can while we're local, right? Because the big idea is to be scalable. And if you think about the $20,000 or so it takes to to get all the coffee equipment we need, it probably costs another $130,000 for all the board game supplies, cards, stock, all the inventory and stuff that you need for that side of the project. And then most of the PC and console investment, or most of that money, is being invested. So we won't actually have to pay for a lot of that because of a friend of ours. But we don't want to count on that. So we've got that marked off as about a $75,000 project. So as you can see, we're a little over 200,000 already, and that doesn't include the things it takes to fill a business, right? Like countertops, chairs, tables, signage. Although I did buy a sign already, right? So, while in the meantime, what I need to be able to do is be pretty fluid with my time because I may have to go to a meeting with my real estate group. I may have a phone call with my marketing guy. I have a probably one of the best graphic designers you'll ever hear of, Micah Bell, that helps me with other projects. He actually made me that little graphic. You see that little orange graphic with my social media information on it on a whim. So thank you, Micah. But yeah, we're excited to get that business going, and I'm excited to take on an opportunity like this because this is something I absolutely want to do, right? I absolutely love sitting around bullshitting and talking sports, but more importantly, I love watching big time events, big time players, big time plays. This game is particularly important. Should be a lot of eyeballs on this game. So yeah, I'm certainly grateful for the opportunity. I'm going to use it to to my fullest. And if you like my hat, this hat came from Caravan Coffee out of Newburgh, Oregon. And they have a really nice looking website, and they have got great merchandise. I have their t-shirts, their well-traveled t-shirts, as well as this hat that they gave me. So again, if I can, I'm gonna tag them as well, I guess. Caravan Coffee. Um, but yeah, certainly uh, have had a unique summer, if you will. I lost my job in May. Um, I was sulking for a while, but a buddy of mine came and said, "Hey, I want to help you start a business." So we got a $20,000 investment. We used that investment to make sure that we had the most important aspects of the business wrapped up and taken care of, so we don't have to borrow against that. So we got our website up and running, fully capable of doing e-commerce, and we've been taking orders for coffee and merchandise off our website since August 10th. The business was conceived July 10th. Back to the game. Burrow and the Tigers start first and 10 at their own 25. 14 minutes left. Up 33-27 on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Burrow rolls out to the right. Short pass to look like a tight end. Yeah, that's Moss. Moss has been eaten today. That's a tight end I like. Reminds me of like an Eric Ebron. Had a big catch. That was cute. Did you see that, by the way? That was a good looking gay couple. That's funny. And Clyde up the middle for about 20. Clyde Edwards Hilaire, 14 rushes, 70 yards, and a touch, and it feels like he's had the ball in his hands all day long. Wow, Chase with another big catch. Obviously, when I'd heard about this prior to today, I'd heard a lot about um, Joe Burrow, a lot about Clyde, and a lot about like Jerry Judy and Tua. But what we're seeing today, that Moss kid's a great tight end. Louisville LSU's got two or three elite wide receivers. Uh, can't really necessarily complain about the pass protection either. As Burrow's had time to get it off. 3rd and 3 here. Need to put points on the board at a minimum. Field goal would be nice, just to keep this out of a one score game. The last thing you want to do in the world right now, with 12 minutes left in this game, is give Alabama the ball back, down one score. They're definitely scoring, and then the game's just over from there. Burrow hangs in the pocket, makes a tough throw to Jefferson. Jefferson is a receiver that I'd heard a bunch about before this game, but I think that Chase is exactly that. He's a chase wide receiver, makes incredible catches. I would know, if you're watching this in the future and you're like, this was interesting, if NCAA football existed, I would know who all of these players are, and I would tell you how to pronounce their names. I'd be able to tell you absolutely everything about like what they're studying in school, because NCAA football was the best it's ever been. The retail copy of NCAA football of 2014 for PS3 is still $60. Get it together, EA Sports and the NCAA. And oh, by the way, talking about the NCAA, what a dumpster fire of an organization this is, that manages to suspend Chase Young, the probably the number one overall draft pick, for accepting and paying off a loan to fly his girlfriend to a bowl game. and then also suspend the number one overall draft pick, whose name is escaping me at this point, uh, all on the same day. After you do the good thing, right, and you say, hey, these kids should be getting paid for their likenesses. Joe Burrow's not currently making money for people buying Joe Burrow jerseys, and I think that's a sham, right? Some of these guys, the most they'll ever be worth is that year or two they had in college. Remember, most of the people that play in the NFL that have like long careers are undrafted free agents that went to smaller schools. So think about, Teddy, the Ohio State tight end, right? That you think is all world in college, and you buy his jersey, and it's $150. That Teddy, the tight end, got nothing. But that guy never gets to play in the NFL, or when he does, he plays for some shit squad. So then you're stuck buying some garbage jersey you never wear because that team is horrible. And he flopped around in the league, right? But when these guys are in college and they're at the height of their athletic career, hell yeah, they should be getting paid. The alternative is have to pay for stuff and put stuff on credit and hope that you can stay healthy enough to bank on your skill, right? It's a mistake all along. I think this goes back to the Ed O'Bannon, where Ed O'Bannon didn't want his namesake and his pictures being used, and I believe it was NBA Live, which is funny because Ed O'Bannon did nothing in the NBA compared to what he did in college, right? He was an incredible basketball player at UCLA, for those of you who don't know. But the coolest part about um, NCAA football is that the community built the rosters. So all the really hardcore fans were the ones that were editing the players and making sure their names were spelled right. Um, and obviously, there's a lot of times that it made me realize how important it is to be able to pronounce people's names. So one of the reasons you don't hear me pronouncing people's names yet is because I haven't figured out how to pronounce them. So rather than butcher them and badger them, I'm just going to call Tua Tua. I'm just going to call Clyde Clyde until I get comfortable enough calling them by their full name, right? Their Jesus name or whatever. I don't know what to tell you. Like, one of the beauties of getting to commentate is I get to make fun of television commercials. So I just want GMC. I just want to ask you a really serious question. How many adult people do you know that are in a financial position to purchase not one, but two pickup trucks? And what kind of commercial is that? And I know that's who you're trying to market to. Shit, that's who I'm trying to market to too. But that entire commercial is just not very realistic, right? That's like the one couple on earth that can afford to buy two GMC pickup trucks that are like $50,000 a piece and have your wife pick which one she wants. And oh, by the way, she didn't ask for that. She probably doesn't need it or want it. This is the society we. I don't think that's the society we live in. We don't. People don't make that kind of money, dog. It's not. That's not for real. Anyway, so it's all set up for Alabama to come back and win this game, right? After being down 20, down 6, 10 minutes left. I don't know what is happening on the field where the lights were flickering. So Najee Harris and Clyde Edwards Helene get himself in the scrum. So I mean LSU scores here. to Joe Burrow making something happen with his feet. Man, I like Joe Burrow a lot. Wow, Clyde with the spin move. That's the circle button. For those of you that forgot. Touchdown. And LSU's going for two to go up 14 points with about, what do we say, about 10 minutes, 12 minutes left? 10, 12 minutes left? 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I like that college and NFL football, they have resorted to going for two more often, going for it on fourth down more often. It makes football more entertaining. It's more compelling to either play with your back up against the wall if you don't make it, or to continue a drive and get some momentum. Although this past week I learned from a buddy of mine, his name is Troy Russell, that momentum doesn't actually exist, and you aren't actually any more likely to score after a turnover than you were just on a regular drive. There's no data that correlates at all with like momentum as it refers to a turnover in a sporting event actually impacting the offense's ability to score right after their defense just got them a turnover, right? Make sure you tell people that from now on. That actually does not exist. Okay, so LSU does not convert on their 2 point conversion attempt. So up 12. So I wonder if anybody's taken any bets on just fourth quarter. Like if Alabama's down 50 points in the fourth quarter, do they come back and win? Um, but no, I mean, they had about as bad a half as you could have, right? Oh man, Mayhem's getting old. I think I already said that. He's getting old, man. And like I said, while we're sitting here watching commercials, remember that there are no commercials on our channel. And that today we've learned in our first broadcast that, gosh, there's an awful lot of not football being shown on television, and that there's an awful lot of standing around. There's an awful lot of commercial breaks. So that's something that I'll have to keep in mind is that you got to fill your dead space. A lot of these broadcasts you'll see will have a co-broadcast. We'll have a partner. My wife may jump in. I've got a buddy, Brett, that's broadcast. We broadcast the first round of the draft together on Twitch this past year. If you find me on Twitch at Likely Alien, you can see I've done some football related stuff on Twitch. I've streamed a couple Colts games live. I streamed the draft this past year. I'm big on the transition from college to the NFL. I find it really compelling. And ESPN's obviously feels the same way. They've got this program called Draft Academy that my wife and I watch every year. It's like the college version of Hard Knocks, except it's player focused, which is what I think Hard Knocks. For the record, if you ever hear this, if Hard Knocks just focused on really interesting people and their like preparation for an NFL season, as opposed to entire organizations that really don't have a need, like, did Hard Knocks help or hurt the Raiders? Right. Um, I would think that it would be more interesting to have each NFL team spend a considerable amount of money and time on their own players, getting to know them, and showing the fans the interesting players that are on their team, as opposed to Hard Knocks. It's such a icky feeling program for me in general. I mean, I watch The Wire, right? So Alabama about to get the ball. About 10 minutes left. 10 minutes left, down about 12. Have seemed to, of course, score at will at times. Had a 90-yard touchdown drive in 4 plays in like a minute. So they've certainly got the ability to just send it. But they're going to need to do that, get a stop and score to win at home. I mean, tough LSU offense. And I mean, obviously LSU's defense is always going to give people problems. Queen with a big sack. I don't know why he didn't just throw that ball. He just melted in the pocket. I think his receiver should have cut up field and didn't. Number 4, Jerry Judy, he should have cut up field. Queen with another big play on defense. Queen saying, not today. As beautiful and majestic as elephants are, I don't think they make good mascots. I'm just saying. Tua throws a friggin' strike to Riggs, another NFL quality wide receiver. It's tough. That was like 3rd and 20, basically. Najee for about 9 yards. It's like I said, I know I'm repeating myself, but when you see guys on a stage like this have big games, those are big time players, right? If you're a sports fan, you know that you've always been told big time players make big time plays in big time games. So think about that today. When you see guys like Joe Burrow have a great game, that's a plus for him. That the big stage doesn't bother him, right? And Najee Harris here having a hell of a day. And I'll give it to Tua. Tua's a great quarterback. He's just not having a great day. But I think he was a top 5 or so pick long before this football game. So I think if I'm evaluating players, you can only improve your stock today. Obviously, if Tua were to get injured, that would be an issue. 3rd and 1 for Alabama. Play action. Caught by Devonta Smith on 3rd and 1. That was a ballsy play, actually. Another NFL quality wide receiver. Najee Harris up the middle, about 5-6 yards. Like I said, Tua has not had a good day, but has this offense in scoring position again inside the 30. Steps just a little high on the throw to the outside. Tua on 3rd and 6 from the 24. And it's a give. Wow. I'm surprised when the RPO works out to a give on 3rd and 6. I'm just surprised. And for those of you that don't know, the RPO is a series of plays or offensive package where the quarterback has a series of reads that he's making based on the behavior of the defense. For example, if the weak side defensive end stays home, meaning that he does not bite down on the runner, you want to give to the runner. And if the defensive end on the weak side stays at home or collapses on the runner, then you want to keep the ball as a quarterback. Then there's a run, play, pass. So there's also there's a variation of the RPO where that becomes a pass play. A lot of times where it becomes like a rollout. We're running some sort of crossing routes. So a lot of what happens in football is matchups come down to coverage. Like on 3rd down, a lot of teams play man-to-man and rush the passer. A lot of teams are predicated on the run throughout football. At its earliest levels, when you play in football in 3rd grade, you almost never pass the football. It's almost entirely a run game. And even when I was in high school, we ran the power I offense, right? So we ran the ball probably 75% of the time. And then in college, it becomes more of an air it out, put up all the gaudiest numbers you can to draw as much attention to the program as possible to get you on the biggest stages like this so you can sell a bunch of merchandise, right? And like I said, you'll see me tie sports and esports together. Imagine in the future LSU, Alabama in a League of Legends SEC championship. There will be a ton of people at that, and it will be crazy. And like I said, there's the mythic championships going on right now. As another player is injured, so we're gonna try to not watch the replay of that particular player's injury. Let's take a look around. Take a look around the rest of the college atmosphere, anyway. Looking at the top 25, we're watching LSU Alabama. LSU currently winning 39-27. And then we've got Iowa and Wisconsin. Wisconsin currently up 21-16. And then, of course, earlier today, Ohio State beat Maryland 73-14. And I heard a Maryland recruit decommitted while at that visit. Penn State got bested by Minnesota 31-26 in an upset. Florida beat Vanderbilt 56-0. Baylor beat TCU 29-23 in triple overtime. I bet that was a great game. SMU beat East Carolina 59-51. Texas beat Kansas State 27-24 in an upset. Virginia Tech beat Wake Forest 36-17 in an upset. Cincinnati beat UConn 48-3. And then the remainder of the games today is Georgia, Missouri at 7, Clemson, NC State at 7:30, Notre Dame, Duke at 7:30, Iowa State, Oklahoma at 8 o'clock, and Wyoming, Boise State at 10:15 tonight. That's just the top 25. And then I follow USC, Miami, and Purdue. So let's look at football today. Purdue beat Northwestern 24-22. Miami beat Louisville 52-27. And looks like, again, USC over Arizona State right now with 3 minutes left in the fourth. Arizona State driving, though, 31-26. And we're watching Alabama LSU, the biggest football game of the year. Yeah, that is kind of funny, though. A guy was visiting during the Maryland game and decommitted, I'm assuming, to Maryland. I didn't say prior whether he decommitted to Ohio State or Maryland. God, Nick Saban's getting old. I don't know, man. Tua dances around in the pocket an awful lot, holds on to that ball a little too long, and he's already kind of hobbled. He needs to get rid of that football. Ball tipped by Lawrence again, number 90. Been making big plays, and he's been making big plays on Leatherwood all night. Number 70, the tackle for Alabama. I wonder if he's Dexter Lawrence's brother. That'd be crazy, right? Oh, and Judy just drops the easy touch. Just did not catch that football. Went right through his hands. Hit him in the worst part. I don't see kicking a field goal here. I think you have to go for it. Yeah, have to score here. Offside 74. Judy scores a touchdown. So right after a lot of people probably said he's not that good, he makes an incredible catch in traffic for a touchdown. That was tough. What a ball by Tua. Took the pylon cam out. So pending this extra point, 39-34. 5:32 left. LSU has gotten the better of Alabama here recently, but was held for a long time without doing anything relevant on offense in this game. So think about this. We're still in a position where if Alabama gets a turnover here and scores, they're winning this football game still. While we're on commercial break, again, we'll want to remind you that we are streaming live, as close to live as we can get. I am watching the live broadcast on Comcast, on CBS Sports, of the Alabama LSU game. This is as close to live as you can get. So whether that's YouTube, Twitch, doesn't matter. My broadcast is synced live with Comcast broadcast of this game, which is the majority of the people in the United States. And the app that Hot Mic is on is supported on iPhone right now. We have a Periscope account. If you want to Periscope a Hot Mic broadcaster, you can do that. And you can find me on there. My name is Jared, JaredMalott, Jared Malott. It's an English name. And today is my very first time broadcasting a sporting event live as a commentator. And how it works, how my job works, is to do what I do, to control my own marketing, advertising, the broadcast itself, how it's presented. So I upgraded my cable package. I bought this white background so we don't have to look at the Stampede Blue one all the time. That way I can broadcast live sporting events to share not only myself and my thoughts about whatever event it is that we're watching, but to tell you that, hey, if you want to support me, if you really need to give me money, shit, contact me and I'll get you my PayPal or my Venmo. But if you want to support my business, the ideas that I have, the best ways to do that are first to download the Hot Mic app. There's a password, Jared317, you'll be asked to use. Joe Burrow completes a big pass to Chase. I told you, a big pass to Chase. We need to score. LSU has to score again to win this game. And also take up all of the time. But you can follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Twitch at Likely Alien. I'll stream live just about any big sporting event. I love college and NBA basketball, college and NFL football. I was originally contracted to to broadcast and commentate for Colts games, but I explained to the higher ups at Hot Mic that I love sports in general and I'll commentate whatever it is, particularly big games. So of course, this arguably to me is the biggest football game of the year, especially coming from an NFL fan. More importantly, coming from someone, I happen to be a content creator, editor, and colleague to Stampede Blue, the SB Nation blog for the Indianapolis Colts, where I do post-game rap content for them. So I make about a 5 to 7 minute video after every Colts game where I try to give you the nuts and bolts as to why the Colts won or lost. Primarily just trying to be the eyes for those that can't watch. As Joe Burrow completes another pass to Jefferson over the middle. And Jefferson's the one I heard all the story about coming into this game. But like I said, I've really liked this chase. Uses the knees to catch that. And that's how LSU won, right? Like, think about that catch between his legs. So 1st and 10 from the 33 going in, and gotta have it. Every bit of 5 yards on the rush for Clyde. Tell me if you're a little running back from the South, you don't want one of Clyde's jerseys. Like, that little kid's tough, dude. You hear my dogs. But yeah, I was saying, if you download the Hot Mic app, put in code Jared317, then follow me. I'm on the broadcasters tab. Okay, and I believe I'm their newest broadcaster. I get paid a couple bucks when you download the app and put in my code and follow me as broadcaster. It's about how I get paid. Get paid $2 for each concurrent viewer, or $2 for 10 concurrent viewers. This was kind of last second, so this is mostly just practice, trying to get on wax what we need on wax. Joe Burrow keeps it on his own, makes a big play down to the 6 yard line. So Joe Burrow is not going to let Alabama come back. As hard as Alabama is going to try, you gotta keep putting the daggers in them, right? That's why you run that RPO, because every now and then you get to keep it for about 25 yards. Especially if your quarterback's just good at everything else at quarterback. I mean, if LSU scores again, you'd like to think it's over. I gotta think it's over, right? At this point, it's almost mathematically impossible for Alabama to come back and win this game. But that just means it's possible, right? Clyde with a mean run. Mean looking run. 7 plays, 75 yards, and 355 against one of the best teams in the country. (46-34), 12-point ball game, minute 37 left. But if it was any other team, you'd be like, oh, it's over, let's go home, let's beat the crowd leaving out of the parking lot. But this is LSU, Alabama, in Tuscaloosa. This game's far from over. Because I would score and go for two, still onside kick, trying to go for the win. I want to win at home. I don't play overtime. See if they can't score. Or no, would you take that? No, because 10 points doesn't matter. How Joe Burrow did not get an opportunity at Ohio State, that's beyond me. Look at Clyde. Clyde is overcome with joy. Had a really big game. I expect big things out of him. If he can stay healthy, I expect to see Clyde in the NFL and look forward to seeing him on Sundays. I'd say the same about Najee Jones. I love all the wide receivers for Alabama and LSU are incredible, from Riggs to Jerry Jeudy uh, to Jefferson to Chase, Moss, that tight end from LSU. The Lawrence, that young defensive tackle, is a big boy. Barnum, the Alabama freshman, that is just a massive person. Um, Obviously, Alabama and LSU, storied programs, but they have incredible teams this year. If I remember correctly, this is supposed to be the game with the most first and second round draft pick grades in it. And some of the players that we just listed off aren't even eligible to be drafted. They're that young. There's certainly a bright future of football. A lot of these players are going to be playing on Sundays, and there are some of them you discovered they were great tonight. As another NFL wide receiver, Devontae Smith, scores on one play. See, this is what I was talking about. They gave him 20 points. 33-13 at halftime. One play drive. This is NCAA football. For the record, this is how I play NCAA football. Yeah. Yeah, it just happened. I'm not shocked at all. And the extra point, 5 point game, minute 21 left. Gotta also onside kick and get it. So it's not like the likelihood that they get this is real, but if you know, it's one of these things. The onside kick is one of those things that every coach will tell you that we don't work hard enough on our onside kick game. But if there's a program out there that has worked really hard on their onside kick game, it's probably Alabama LSU, right? So this is a thing. This is something that has to happen now because LSU has shown that they're more than capable of running and throwing the football against this Alabama defense. So you can't give LSU the ball back here. So Alabama's got to go for it. It's so crazy with the lights flickering on and off in a football stadium. It's so crazy. Just hope he gets it right, right? Okay, so now LSU gets the ball with good field position, and all they really need to do is get a first down, and it's over. But still, they were up 33-13. They were outscored. What is 41, 28-13 in the second half. So it really was a tale of two halves, right? So in the first half, 33-13. In the second half, 28-13 going the other way. And then he's gonna get a first down too. He gets a first down, it's pretty much over. Yeah. So it ain't over till it's over. But LSU has done everything but end the game. They just need to end the game. I didn't look at the line for this game. I didn't care. I told you at the beginning of the broadcast I'm gonna root for LSU because Alabama's got everything else. My wife's best friend Lindsay is a huge Alabama fan, and I can't stand it. So now it looks like the ball game. So minute and 11 left, second and 12. LSU just kind of kicking the tires, trying to run this clock out and get out of here, escape with a win in Tuscaloosa. Probably one of the biggest road upsets or road wins. So let's just call it a road win because LSU is ranked second and Alabama is ranked third. But I can't imagine Alabama being an underdog at home. And I don't care who it is. As long as Nick Saban's coaching and they're undefeated, my thought process is Alabama probably favored to win. But that said, to me, this looks like LSU with one of the biggest road upsets I've ever seen in a game that I didn't actually think was gonna hold. Like I was pretty certain there for a while, Alabama's gonna come back on you because that's just what Alabama does. But now it's over. Okay, LSU gets a huge road win. I think Joe Burrow is an elite is an elite starter in the NFL. Reminds me of like Andrew Luck. I'll just come out and say it. Like Joe Burrow reminds me of Andrew Luck. Makes plays with his feet, runs their offense well against the best players in the country. They score 46 points. Um, Tua's legit too. He's an elite starter in the NFL, but he's hurt, right? So it's difficult to evaluate him. Both teams have elite wide receivers. And again, we're going to miss guys, but specifically Riggs, Judy, Jefferson, Chase, the running back, Clyde, the LSU tight end Moss, um, obviously the Alabama tackles. I thought Leatherwood and I can't remember the other guy's name, but they looked really good. And then we saw some young guys, defensive tackles. This is where the money's made. I'm a Colts fan. I care about the interior offensive linemen. Okay? Offensive and defensive linemen. So Rashawn Lawrence is a freshman and a big boy making some plays on that defensive front for LSU. And then Barnum, the defensive tackle from Alabama, is holy big. Like 6'5", 310, and just a Mack truck up top. Made some big plays. So LSU, Ed Orgeron, and the Tigers get a big win in Tuscaloosa. Probably one of the biggest games of the year, if not the biggest college football game all year long. So I'm going to go ahead and end my broadcast here. Again, wasn't terribly worried about viewers. I'm not terribly worried about comments or having conversations with people. This is more of a let's give it a go, see what we think thing. So I'm gonna download this. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube, so you have the ability to replay it. If you watched it live, we appreciate it. And to close it out, we just want to say, hey, thank you to Hot Mike for the opportunity. What a cool concept. I'm glad to be on board. Certainly going to jump in and try to do more. And help out as much as I can. And so I certainly hope you enjoyed it. Again, you can follow us here. You can follow me. Twitter, Instagram, @LikelyAlien. My name is Jared Malott if you want to look me up on LinkedIn. My wife and I have started a business. Any money that we try to get off of people, we are going to try to do it in exchange for actual goods. Right? So we have started Bizarre Grind Coffee and Games. We are finalizing a location now, trying to get into a space so we don't have to dump a bunch of money in and borrow a bunch of money to fix a space I don't own. We're trying to get into a space that is business ready, that we can have our board and card, PC and console gaming mecca. So that's what my object is, the Taj Mahal of gaming, right? That has great concessions. And how we achieve that is by serving world-class coffee, related beverages, and unique snacks. We're focusing on being green, so we sourced a lot of the items that we got. We sourced locally. We're trying to use as much biodegradable material as we can, and having a healthy business with a low carbon footprint. That's the goal. As far as that refers to Hot Mic. Hot Mic is a great opportunity for me because I get to do what I've always wanted to do, which is broadcast and commentate live sporting events, knowing I probably will never get to work for the likes of ESPN because I don't have a degree in journalism and I don't live in Bristol, Tennessee. I live in Indianapolis. You've also seen me live on Stampede Blue, or not live on Stampede Blue. You've seen me on Stampede Blue. I make your post-game rap videos. I also have a podcast, Afternoon Pancakes. You can find that podcast wherever you find your podcasts. Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. We're part of the Stampede Blue Podcast Network. Stampede Blue is an Indianapolis Colts website that is owned by SB Nation, Sportsbook Nation, which is owned by Vox Media, who owns everything. They're the largest media conglomerate in the world. So, you'll be seeing more of me. I'll be broadcasting live future sporting events. I'll just sign up for an event. I'm going to try to get better at promoting ahead of shows, because part of how I get paid is by having actual people watch when I'm live. So we do thank you if you were watching along today. If you want to make sure you tell people when you watch this, hey, that hot mic app's not a bad idea, right? Live broadcast of a sporting event without having to be watching it. So this is like free cable for you, right? You have somebody commentating a game. I'm telling you what the score is, what the down and distance is, uh, talking about who's playing well, who's playing bad. In our advertising, we control, right? So if you feel like I'm talking about my business too much or too little, it's all things we learn on the fly. Nobody's really telling me what to do here. So we want to make sure that if you want to follow me, do so at Likely Alien. You want to follow my business to keep up with that too. If you're interested in esports, PC and console, board and card games. If you're just interested in small businesses. Also, I'm a disabled Marine Corps veteran. So if you're a veteran, certainly want to take care of fellow vets. If you need a shout out, I need a shout out. Who doesn't need a shout out, right? Reach down, reach up, reach sideways, pull each other up. That's what we do. So yeah, I'm gonna leave you with that. I do appreciate again the opportunity here, and we're trying to make some magic happen. So I do appreciate you watching, and we're gonna go ahead and stop everything. Meow.